Welcome to Lento English. Ready to level up your English? Here we learn through stories, slow, clear, and fun. Listen, relax, and enjoy the journey.
One introduction. This story is about a very important person in South Korea. His name is Lee Jae-myung. He is the new president of the country. He won the presidential election recently. This was a very significant election for South Korea. It happened after a period of important political change in the country. There were some difficult times in politics before this election. The person who was president before had to leave his job. This created a need for a new leader quickly. So South Korea had a special election to choose the next president. Lee Jae-myung was the candidate for the Democratic Party. He won the election with a clear victory. Many people voted for him. His win means a new time for South Korea's government and its people. This story will tell you all about President Lee Jae-myung. We will start at the beginning of his life. He was born into a poor family. He faced many challenges when he was young. We will learn about his difficult start and how he grew up. Then, the story will follow his path after his childhood. It will explain how he studied and became a lawyer. He used his skills to help people who were in trouble or treated unfairly. This work was very important for him. It made him want to help people on a bigger scale. This led him to enter the world of politics. His journey in politics was not always easy. He tried to win elections before he became president. Sometimes he won and sometimes he lost, but he kept going. We will learn about his steps in politics, including his time as a mayor and a governor. Finally, this story will look at his plans for South Korea now that he is the president. He has many ideas for the country's future. He wants to improve the economy. He wants to help families and workers. He also has ideas about how South Korea should be in the world, how it should talk to other countries. So, this story is about the life of Lee Jae-myung, his journey through challenges to become president, and his important plans for South Korea. It is a story about leadership and change in a country. We will explore these things in the chapters that follow this introduction. 2. A hard start in life. Lee Jae-myung was born in South Korea around the year 1963. His family was very poor. At that time, South Korea was not a rich country. Life was difficult for many families. The country's economy was not strong. Many people lived in poverty. Because of the difficult situation, Lee Jae-myung's exact birthday is not known. This might seem strange today, but in those years, life was hard and many babies died young. This was called high infant mortality. Some parents waited to officially tell the government about a baby's birth. They waited maybe for about 1 year. They did this because life was so uncertain. This was a sad part of living in such poverty. Lee Jae-myung's early years were full of hardships. He faced many problems because his family did not have much money. He had to help his family from a very young age. This meant he could not have a normal childhood like some other children. He had to work to help his family. When he was still a child, he started working in factories. This was not easy work. It was often dangerous. He had to leave school early when he was only in his early teenage years. He stopped going to regular school so he could earn money. He moved to a city near Seoul called Seongnam to find jobs. He was one of 7 children in his family. Helping support his family was very important. Working as a child in factories was a common thing for poor children then, but it was very hard. These experiences showed him the difficulties that poor people faced every day. They showed him unfair situations that happened because people were poor. These early years taught him about the struggles of people with little money. They showed him how difficult it was to escape poverty. His experiences working in factories as a child were very hard. He saw many challenges during this time. This difficult start was the reality for his family and many others in South Korea then. 3. From factory to law school. Lee Jae-myung continued working in factories when he was a teenager. He needed to earn money for his family. When he was 15 years old, he had a bad accident at one of the factories. The factory made items like baseball gloves. This accident caused a serious injury to his arm. It was a very difficult time for him. The injury was so bad that his arm could never be straight again. This physical problem stayed with him always. It was a permanent disability. This injury changed his life path significantly. Because of his need to work and the accident, he could not attend regular school for many years. He missed the chance to sit in classrooms and learn with other students. However, Lee Jae-myung did not give up on education. He had a strong desire to learn more. He understood that education could be a way to build a different future for himself. He decided to study by himself. He studied very hard during the hours he was not working. He used his free time, often late at night, to read books and prepare for tests. He worked towards passing important exams that could help him move forward. First, he studied and passed the exam needed to complete middle school. After that, he studied even more and passed the exam to finish high school. Passing these exams without going to traditional classes every day was a remarkable effort. It showed how determined he was to get an education despite the difficulties he faced. It was a testament to his focus and discipline. His success in passing these exams opened a new door for him. He had the opportunity to go to university. In the year 1982, he entered Chungang University in Seoul. He chose to study law there. He was interested in the legal system and how it could be used to help people, especially those who were poor or treated unfairly. Studying law was very different from working in a noisy, dangerous factory. University life was different from the factory floor. He dedicated himself to his law studies. He learned about different laws and legal practices. He spent hours reading and studying complex legal ideas. After studying diligently for 4 years, he completed his degree. The next big challenge was passing the bar exam. This is a very difficult test that a person must pass to become a licensed lawyer in South Korea. Lee Jae-myung put in a lot of effort to prepare for the bar exam. His hard work paid off, and he passed the exam successfully. Becoming a lawyer was a huge change from his earlier life. He had gone from a young factory worker with a permanent injury to a qualified legal professional. This journey showed his strength and his ability to overcome big problems. It proved that a difficult start did not have to define his whole life. Becoming a lawyer gave him the chance to use his skills to help others. It was a significant step towards a new future, moving from manual labor to a career in law. 4. Fighting for people. After becoming a lawyer, Lee Jae-myung began his work. He had a strong wish to help people who were not powerful or rich. He saw that many people in South Korea had difficult lives. They were often treated unfairly because they were poor or did not have important connections. Lee Jae-myung decided he would use his legal skills to fight for these people. He took on many different cases. One important focus was helping workers. Many people worked in jobs that were not safe, and sadly, some were injured in accidents. When workers were hurt, companies did not always give them the help they needed. Lee Jae-myung worked hard to represent these injured workers. He fought in court to make sure they received fair support and money for their injuries and loss of work. He strongly believed that companies had a duty to keep workers safe and help them if something bad happened. He also spent time helping people who were in danger of losing their homes. Sometimes, city plans meant that people had to leave their houses and apartments, for example, when new buildings were planned. This situation, called eviction, was very hard for families who had nowhere else to go. Lee Jae-myung worked to protect these residents. He tried to stop the evictions from happening or made sure the families were treated with fairness and received help to find new places to live. He saw the stress and sadness this caused and wanted to stand with these families. Working as a lawyer showed him many deep problems in society. He saw that the system often helped those who were already strong, and it was difficult for those who were weak or poor. This big unfairness made him feel that he needed to do more than just help one person at a time. He thought about how he could make a bigger difference. He wanted to change the basic rules of society so that everyone had a better chance. He wanted to help many more families escape the cycle of poverty and difficulty. He dreamed of building a country where life was fair for everyone, not just a small group of people. This strong desire to make big changes led him to enter politics. He believed that as a politician, he could work to create a truly fair society. He could help write new laws that would protect ordinary workers, support families, and give poor people more opportunities. He wanted to build a country with more equality and much more hope for the future. His main reason for entering politics was clear. He wanted to fight for the people who were struggling. He wanted to help them rise out of the difficult situations he knew well from his own past. He wanted to build a society that was based on fairness and offered hope to all its citizens. He felt that his personal experiences of hardship gave him a unique understanding of the challenges faced by many people. He decided that using his voice and power in politics was the best way to ensure that everyone had a chance for a better life, and that South Korea became a place of justice and opportunity for all. This strong belief was the force that pushed him into the world of politics. 5. Steps into politics. Lee Jae-myung decided to try politics. He wanted to help people and make society more fair based on his experiences. His first attempts to win elections were not successful. In 2006, he ran for the job of mayor in Seongnam City. He campaigned hard, but he did not win the election. 2 years later, in 2008, he tried again in the political field. He ran to become a member of the National Parliament for Seongnam. However, he was not elected in this attempt either. But Lee Jae-myung did not stop trying to reach his goal. He believed strongly in his ideas for a better society. In 2010, he decided to run for mayor of Seongnam City one more time. This was his second election for this specific position. This time the voters chose him. He won the election and became the mayor of Seongnam. This was his first big political success. He served as mayor for 4 years, focusing on helping the city's residents. His work was appreciated. So in 2014, the people of Seongnam voted for him again. He was re-elected for his second term as mayor. After serving as mayor, he moved to a larger role in regional government. From 2018 to 2021, he was the governor of Gyeonggi Province. Gyeonggi Province is the area that surrounds South Korea's capital city, Seoul. It is known as the most populous province in the country, with many citizens. During his time as mayor and governor, Lee Jae-myung introduced new economic ideas and policies. He wanted to improve the lives of ordinary people. One of his notable ideas was a form of basic income. This policy involved giving a regular payment of money to certain groups of people. He implemented these plans in Seongnam and Gyeonggi. These policies were seen as innovative and attracted attention across South Korea. They were part of his effort to build a fairer society with more hope, as he had always wanted. 6. The road to president. After his time as governor, Lee Jae-myung decided to try for the highest job in the country. He ran for president in the year 2022. It was a big election. He was the main person for the Democratic Party. But in this election, he did not win. He lost the election to the other candidate, Yoon Suk-yeol. The difference in votes was very, very small. It was the smallest difference in the history of South Korean presidential elections. He lost by less than 1% of the votes. It was a difficult moment after trying so hard. However, Lee Jae-myung did not stop in politics. He kept working. Later, there were elections for the country's parliament. Lee Jae-myung led his party in these elections. His party, the Democratic Party, did very well. They won a large number of seats in the parliament. This showed that many people still supported Lee Jae-myung and his party. Then something big happened in the country's politics. The president at that time, Yoon Suk-yeol, had problems. There were political difficulties and he was removed from his job. This is called impeachment. Because the president was removed, the country needed a new president quickly. So there was a new election called a snap election. Lee Jae-myung wanted to run for president again in this new election. He asked his party for their support. His party members gave him strong support. Almost all of them voted for him to be their candidate again. This showed that his party really believed in him and his ability to lead. People knew Lee Jae-myung for his way of speaking. He was direct and said what he thought. He was also good at seeing what people wanted and understanding political changes in the country. Some people liked this direct style. Others thought it could sometimes cause problems. During the campaign for the snap election, Lee Jae-myung made some changes to his message. Before, he was known for very progressive ideas, especially about the economy. For this election, he spoke in a way that was more practical. He made his economic plans sound a little milder. He did this to try and get votes from more people, not just those who always voted for his party. He wanted to show he could lead everyone. His hard work and changes helped him on his road to becoming president. 7. Plans for the country. President Lee Jae-myung has many plans for South Korea. His main plan is to make the economy stronger. He believes a good economy helps everyone. He wants to put more money into new technology. One area he wants to invest in is called artificial intelligence, or AI. This is a new way for computers to learn and think. Another idea for the economy is about work time. President Lee has talked about making the work week shorter. He wants to try a work week that is 4.5 days long. This is less than the usual 5 days. He thinks this could be good for workers and the economy. He also wants to help families with children. He has a plan to give tax help to parents. The amount of tax help would depend on how many children a family has. This is to support families and maybe help the country have more children. President Lee also has plans for how South Korea works with other countries. He wants to improve the relationship with North Korea. This is the country next to South Korea. At the same time, he wants North Korea to stop making nuclear weapons. This is called denuclearization. South Korea has a strong friendship and security agreement with the United States. President Lee wants to keep this friendship, but he also needs to manage relationships with other big countries like China and Russia. He wants to be friends with many countries. People look at President Lee in different ways. Some people think he is very practical. This means he likes to do things that work well in the real world. Other people think he is flexible. This means he can change his ideas or plans when needed. These ideas show how he might lead the country and try to reach his goals. 8. A new time for Korea. After becoming president, Lee Jae-myung gave his first important speech. In this speech, he spoke about bringing the country together. He promised to unite all the people of South Korea. He said he wanted to end the kind of politics that separates people into groups. He also said he would work hard to protect democracy for everyone. The country had faced some difficult political times recently. These events showed how much the nation was divided. President Lee now faces the big job of leading a country where people have very different ideas and feelings. It is a challenge to make everyone feel like they are part of one nation. He also has to work in a difficult world. There are wars happening far away. Big countries are rivals, and this creates problems for many nations. The United States, a very important friend to South Korea, also has new ideas about trade under President Donald Trump, which can change things for the economy. These international problems make the president's job even harder. He must find ways for South Korea to be safe and strong in this complex world. President Lee's own life story is about overcoming many problems. He started from a very poor background and faced many difficulties. But he worked hard and became a lawyer and then a politician. His journey to becoming president, even after losing before, shows how he can overcome challenges. For many people, his story gives hope. Before he became president, there were some legal cases against him. There were about 5 different cases. However, when a person becomes president in South Korea, the law says that criminal cases against them must stop. This rule is in place while the president is in office. So the legal cases against President Lee are now paused for his 5-year term.